In today's video, Real Madrid prepares $90 million to sign Vitinha. What did Alonso say after the clash against Atletico de Madrid? An unexpected comment from Simeone after Real Madrid's match. Real Madrid is preparing $90 million to sign Vitinha. The Portuguese star Vitinha, a midfielder for Paris Saint-Germain, continues to consolidate his position as one of the best midfielders in the world today, after finishing third in the 2025 Ballon d'Or rankings, behind Ousmane Dembélé and Lamine Yamal. Vitinha, 25, is greatly admired by Florentino Perez, president of Real Madrid, who places him at the very top of his priorities to strengthen the midfield, especially in light of the absence of a leader and play organizer following the retirement of German Toni Kroos. Paris Saint-Germain signed Vitinha in mid-2022 from Porto for $40 million. Since then, he has played 176 matches for the Parisian side, scoring 24 goals and providing 21 assists, contributing to the conquest of 11 titles. In addition, he was one of the standout performers last season, in which the club won 5 trophies. Despite PSG's desire to retain the player and extend his contract, media reports revealed the existence of a clause that could open the door to his transfer to Real Madrid next summer. These reports point to an unofficial agreement between the Parisian club's management and the player's representatives that would allow his departure for $90 million. Vitinha is not opposed to the idea of signing for Real Madrid and joining the new Galacticos project in the summer of 2026, especially since the White Club has the financial capacity to close the deal, even though the player's market value currently exceeds $100 million. His recent win of the Globe Soccer Award for Best Midfielder of 2025 reinforces his global status and strengthens Real Madrid's conviction that he is the ideal option to reinforce the midfield. In this context, the future of young forward Gonzalo Garcia with Real Madrid also stands out, following his recent and notable breakthrough with the first team. What did Alonso say after the clash against Atletico de Madrid? After the great duel between Real Madrid and Atletico de Madrid in the semi-finals of the Spanish Super Cup, played on Saudi soil in an extraordinary atmosphere, Xabi Alonso, Real Madrid's coach, appeared with statements that were calm in tone and deep in content, revealing many details that reflect the magnitude of the match, its value, the nature of the rival, and the position of the White Club, regardless of the circumstances. Xabi Alonso began his remarks by stressing that a match against Atletico de Madrid can never be considered a normal game, neither in Spain nor abroad, noting that this type of encounter has a special character that goes beyond traditional rivalry. He explained that playing against Atletico is always different, because the team has a clear identity, a strong personality, and knows how to turn any stadium into a stage for tactical and mental battle rather than a purely physical or technical one. Alonso added that the atmosphere surrounding the match in Saudi Arabia once again confirmed that the Madrid derby knows no geography and is not affected by location, since whether it is played in Madrid, in a European city, or outside the continent, the tension, concentration, and caution are always present with the same intensity. He indicated that the players felt from the very first moment that the match demanded the highest level of preparation, as Atletico is a team that knows how to impose its rhythm and force its opponents to play under constant pressure. The Real Madrid coach also spoke about the mental aspect of the encounter, stating that this type of match is not decided only with the legs, but also with the head. He pointed out that small details, decisions made in fractions of a second, and tactical discipline are determining factors when the opponent is at the level of Atletico de Madrid, a team that does not easily concede space or allow you to catch your breath. When referring to Real Madrid, Xabi Alonso showed himself to be firm and confident, despite acknowledging that the team is going through a season L, and that even if names or generations change, Real Madrid will continue to be a club made to live with pressure and accustomed to appearing in the biggest moments, even when circumstances are not in its favor. He indicated that talking about difficult stages or complex seasons does not reduce the club's value at all, but rather is part of its long history, in which Real Madrid has learned to face difficulties with its head held high, turning doubts into motivation and criticism into positive energy within the locker room. Alonso added that what distinguishes the White Club from others is mentality, a winning mentality, a mentality of challenge, and a mentality of never giving up. He emphasized that these values are not taught on tactical boards, but are passed down from generation to generation. He explained that the players are fully aware that they wear a jersey with a special weight in the world of football, and that defending it is a responsibility before it is an honor. He also praised the response of the public in Saudi Arabia, considering that the large presence of fans and the support received reflect the true global dimension of Real Madrid, a club that does not belong to a single city or a single country, but to supporters spread all over the world. He assured that playing in front of this crowd gives players an extra boost to give their best, especially in matches of the caliber of a Spanish Super Cup semifinal. Looking to the future, Xabi Alonso insisted that Real Madrid does not analyze a single match in isolation, but rather within the overall project of the season, highlighting the importance of maintaining balance, learning from each experience, and continuing to work with calm and confidence. The Real Madrid coach concluded his remarks by stating that respecting the opponent does not mean giving up ambition, and that Real Madrid will always aspire to the highest level, because that is the essence of the club and its history. He noted that Real Madrid, even in its most difficult moments, remains in his eyes and in the eyes of the entire world one of the best clubs on the planet, not only because of the titles it wins, but because of the way it faces challenges and because of a spirit that does not break, no matter how great the pressure. An unexpected comment from Simeone after Real Madrid's match. In the press room, just a few minutes after the final whistle that ended another of the most tense and passionate clashes in football, Diego Simeone, Atletico de Madrid's coach, appeared with a calm demeanor, but with a tone that reflected the weight of the match and its special value. The words of El Cholo were not the usual ones, but were loaded with deep messages, and an evident respect for a rival he knows well and understands cannot be measured only by what happens on the pitch. Simeone began by stating that a match against Real Madrid can never be treated as just another game, regardless of the competition, the moment, or the place. He pointed out that facing Real Madrid always has a different flavor, a special atmosphere, and incomparable psychological pressure. He explained that this uniqueness is not due solely to the fact that it is a derby or a historic rivalry, but rather that it is a club accustomed to creating great moments in the most difficult circumstances. He added that playing against Real Madrid in Saudi Arabia is no less complicated than doing so in Madrid or in any stadium in Spain, because the club's personality travels with it wherever it goes, along with its fans, its history, and its culture of victory forged over decades. Simeone spoke extensively about the atmosphere surrounding the match, emphasizing that the stadium was the scene of a mental duel as much as a physical and tactical one. He indicated that players feel from warm-up that it is a different kind of match, one in which small details take on maximum importance, and any mistake, no matter how small it may seem, can change the course of the game. He assured that Real Madrid forces you to maintain absolute concentration, because you know it is a team that never gives up and never stops believing in its possibilities until the very last moment. Regarding this season's Real Madrid, Simeone was clear in pointing out that the difficulties or changes the white club is going through do not reduce its value or status at all. He firmly stated that Real Madrid, whatever happens, adding that talking about an alleged decline or minimizing Real Madrid because of a phase of transition is something recurrent in the media, but does not reflect the full reality. The Atletico coach highlighted that Real Madrid possesses something that cannot be taught in tactical schools: mentality. The winning mentality, the ability to handle pressure, and the composure in decisive moments. He explained that this mentality is what makes Real Madrid a fearsome opponent, even when it is not going through its best footballing moment. He pointed out that great teams are measured by their ability to stay at the top or to return quickly to it, and that Real Madrid has shown throughout its history that it always knows how to do so. When referring to Real Madrid's new coach, Xabi Alonso, Simeone paused on the criticism the coach has received in his first season. He commented that modern football has become extremely demanding of coaches, especially at a club the size of Real Madrid, where it is expected to win always, with authority and from day one. He added that Xabi Alonso took on a complex task, at a club that does not grant much time, and in a stage that requires partial rebuilding and a renewal of ideas without losing identity. Simeone indirectly defended Alonso, stating that judging any coach in their first year should be done with greater calm and objectivity. He pointed out that Xabi Alonso has a deep knowledge of the game, a strong personality, and a clear understanding of Real Madrid's culture, since he lived it as a player before taking on the role of coach. He clarified that criticism is part of the process of formation, and that some ideas need time to be reflected more clearly on the pitch. Nevertheless, he insisted that the team remains dangerous at all times, because the individual quality of its players and the experience accumulated in this type of match Make it an opponent against whom you can never let your guard down. Simeone closed his remarks by highlighting that these types of matches are what forge great teams and reveal the character of players and coaches. He stated that facing Real Madrid, inside or outside Spain, remains a real test for any team and an opportunity to measure oneself against one of the greatest clubs in the history of football. He added that respecting the opponent does not mean fearing it, but rather preparing to the maximum, because Real Madrid, quite simply, understands only total competition and equality until the very last second. With these words, Diego Simeone left a clear impression. Facing Real Madrid is not just a semi-final match, but a new chapter in a long conflict marked by passion, pressure, mutual respect, and the recognition that this club, no matter how times change, will continue to occupy a central place in the heart of world football.